Hi, my name is Alicia Coronado, and I'm a student of the Public Administration Survey of Nonprofit Leadership and Management class, and I'm an employee at Voz de Niños Casa in Laredo, Texas. CASA is a national, state, and local nonprofit organization that recruits and trains community members to serve as court-appointed special advocates for children in foster care. Although I've presented in the past on this agency, I still want to give you a little background and information about our mission, just in case you've forgotten. Our mission, again, is to recruit and train members of our community to serve as court-appointed special advocates as outlined in family law. The job of the volunteer is to support and advocate for the needs and desires, but specifically the best interests of children in foster care. Each volunteer is assigned to one case with one or more children. They visit these kids and develop a close relationship to fully understand their needs and voice those needs to the appropriate people who can fulfill or find solutions, such as caseworkers, doctors, therapists, foster parents. More importantly, the volunteers serve as a voice within the court proceedings. They ensure that the best interest of these children is at the forefront of every single decision that is made. Our agency is about 6 years old, and we have a pool of about 30 volunteers. We have a full-time executive director and 2 case volunteer supervisors. My role in the agency is case volunteer supervisor, but with the shrinking budget, this position has also encompassed recruitment and training. My presentation will attempt to create a program that resembles more of a social entrepreneurship inspired by the work at Voz de Niños. My first idea came from the Edgar TEDx video, where Mr. Edgar found a way to link the silver tsunamis to the millennials to create a program that would fulfill the needs of both groups, a win-win situation. Edgar foresaw that the silver tsunamis would find themselves in a situation within the next 10 years where they would need assistance, and especially that of food, finding a place to eat or finding food. While the foster care millennials, after aging out of foster care, would find themselves unemployed and lacking the skills to survive. This latter is far too real in my line of work. Kids aging out of foster care constitute a growing portion of our nation's homeless and unemployed. And even though in Texas, having experienced a life in foster care guarantees a full ride to any state, university, or college, less than 1% of foster care youth take full advantage of the assistance. The reason, according to young people who've aged out of care, it's the lack of guidance and support by a caring adult willing to invest in getting to know them and providing them with encouragement. Sounds really simple, right? Young adults having aged out of foster care often share that they don't feel like they're accountable to anyone but themselves, and how they wish they had a caring adult in their lives to talk about their concerns for the future, someone to push them to do better, someone to challenge them when they fall out of line. And as a volunteer recruiting for CASA and recruiting volunteers to do advocacy, I oftentimes come across people who don't see themselves fulfilling the role of an advocate as outlined in our program. Or they have the desire to make a difference, but they don't necessarily want to work with young children. Or they just don't have the time to commit because of the constraints of their job schedule. And since we have no other alternatives for these potential volunteers, we lose the opportunity of engaging these individuals who can otherwise impact the life of a child in foster care. So one of my ideas is to create a program that links those individuals that don't quite fit the advocacy as outlined by Texas CASA, but who are wanting to do something, linking those individuals with a young person in foster care, preferably 16 and over, and engage them in a sort of a big small or big sister big brother opportunity, mentor-mentee. This program would help employed volunteers who are interested in building a relationship with a youth in foster care to create an individualized internship at the volunteer's place of work. After matching the volunteer with a youth during maybe a spring mixer, both parties can begin to know each other at these mixers to ensure compatibility. But during the summer, the young adult would spend 10 to 15 hours a week at the internship with their volunteer mentor, where they can shadow their volunteer, learn some skills, and that can potentially help them get a job in the following summers. In the process, however, and more importantly here, a volunteer and a youth can develop a relationship that opens up the possibility of accountability and structure that youth in foster care so desperately crave. Since Voz de Niños CASA already has the means to screen potential volunteers with background checks and such, and train volunteers, the project would require only specialized training with working with youth. I really believe this relationship would fulfill a volunteer's desire to help the foster care situation by offering a one-on-one mentoring at the volunteer's place of work, while at the same time foster youth gaining tangible skills, most importantly, a healthy relationship with an adult who can guide them to plan a future and learn to use the resources available to them after life in foster care. A win-win situation. So there you are. Not as creative as some of these amazing groups we've read about this semester, but it's a start. Thank you for your time.